Well, not a great day for either side, but the consensus really is a worse day for the prosecution. 7 weeks of trial, 14 days of jury deliberation, and you end up with a hung jury on almost all the counts, including, as you pointed out, the one that Blagojevich tried to sell that Senate seat vacated when Barack Obama went to Washington.
Governor Blagojevich has been arrested in the middle of what we can only describe as a political corruption crime spree.
Prosecutors knew it was a high-profile, high-risk case from the outset.
The conduct would make Lincoln roll over in his grave.
Blagojevich was already under investigation and his phones tapped when he discussed appointing a new senator to replace Barack Obama when he went to the White House. It was all about what's in it for Blagojevich.
I mean, I've got this thing, and it's golden. And I'm just not giving it up for nothing. I'm not going to do it. And I can always use it and parachute me there.
Prosecutors hit hard, raiding the house of a sitting governor early one December morning in 2008. Not governor for long, he was soon impeached.
Rock solid.
He went public on shows like The Apprentice.
Rod, you're fired.
And David Letterman.
I did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. And I'll have an opportunity to be able to go into court and prove that I did nothing wrong.
Ever ready to shake another hand at the courthouse, he entered the trial with a high-risk move of his own. He did not take the stand in his own defense, saying the government never proved its case and, for once, he would be silent.
And perhaps maybe the biggest lesson I've learned is that I talk too much.
Blagojevich spent about $2.8 million of his own dollars on his defense, but he is now effectively broke. That means if there is a retrial in a federal court, it's federal money, American taxpayer money, that will pay for his next defense. Erica?
An important clarification, Barry. Thanks. Jan Crawford is in Washington. She's our chief legal correspondent. Jan, as you look at this, as Barry said, a worse day for the prosecution. How big of a setback is this for the government?
Oh, well, Eric, I mean, this is a huge setback. As we saw in Barry's piece, Pat Fitzgerald got up and said, these were crimes that would make Abraham Lincoln roll over in his grave. I mean, those are pretty strong statements. And the only conviction was on the weakest count. I mean, that's obviously a felony. Lying to the FBI is punishable by up to 5 years in prison. It's the same crime that Martha Stewart was convicted on. But for a hung jury on 23 of 24 counts can only be characterized as a huge setback.
So then what happened here? Where did the prosecution, where did the government go wrong in this case?
Well, I think there was a sense of overconfidence by the government. When they played those tapes, they assumed the jury would just be shocked. And really what the tapes show is that Blagojevich was a profane, loudmouth guy. I mean, that's not exactly a shock to jurors in Chicago politics. And the defense did a really good job of getting back to the simple concept: follow the money. And there wasn't a dime the prosecution showed went into Blagojevich's pocket. It was all talk. So, was he a bad governor or a criminal? The prosecution did not show how the tapes translated into criminal conduct.
So if there is a retrial, when you look at this, is it advantage prosecution or advantage defense here?
Well, that cuts both ways. I think this time, though, that really favors the defense, because the defense attorney made a huge calculation to open this trial, saying they would hear from the governor that these were not criminal acts. And at the end, Blagojevich didn't testify. So now the next go around, the jury didn't hold that against him here, but the next go around, they will not say that in those opening statements. It cuts both ways. I mean, the prosecution does get to hone, its case. They know which witnesses will work. But I think this time, round two may cut for Blagojevich.
All right, we will be watching. Jan Crawford, thanks.